It's outrageous, this weather. It must be something to do with you. You know, just when you get movie stars and stuff like that.
Oh, it's totally
the Hollywood
me.
weather comes.
Oh yeah, it'll be like pissing rain now in a second. That'll really, you know, I'll really throw you off then. You'll go, oh, okay, yeah, thanks for that.
Now, before you kind of fell in love with acting, I know that you were saying in UC, when you were in UCD, the drama society, and then kind of going to Lear Academy, all these various different points. Do you think when you were a kid this was in you, that this was a sense of, every kid wants to be sort of a musician or an actor, but do you remember specifically having an early kind of kick for this?
Such a good question. Like, I think I more watched films when I was a kid, and I don't think like I didn't really do acting in school or anything. I think I was just too self-conscious. Right. And then I think when I got to college, everyone was kind of splintering off and doing whatever they wanted. So actually, that's, I think, really when I kind of left school, I was like, oh, okay. But there were just loads of films when I was a kid that I remember, like Edward Scissorhands really sticks out, just like the boldness of that performance, and Cinema Paradiso was another one that I just really like stuck with me. I watched a lot of films as kids, and all the 80s stuff was like my sort of like food, which is brilliant.
Well, what's kind of cool is that you're more interested in the sort of Ed Wood idea, that it's like a family, it's a community, and it's a sense of, rather than the star and the ego being, you know, the center of the world, it's the idea that you get this traveling circus together for a few months and you all work out what it is you're going to make together. That seems to be at the core of what drew you, because for quite a lot it's being in the spotlight and being the number one, but for you I think it was more of the idea of a traveling kind of troupe of people.
Yeah, and like just the sense of like you belong somewhere, or like there's people like you, or I think traveling circus is great, just like a kind of a family, you know, and everybody is just completely different and so unique and original, and then you come together to kind of tell the same story, and it's always for a certain period of time. It doesn't last forever. It's like a moment, you come together in this really intense scenario and you make this thing, and then you share it with loads of people, and then it's suddenly like kind of like has tentacles that kind of feed out, and you can kind of bring that with you then into the next thing and the next people you meet. Like the last play I did was in 2022. It was at the Gate, and it was an Annie Baker play, Circle-Mirror Transformation, and there was only 5 people in that play, and we became so close. I mean, we were literally like family. Like we all still are so attached to each other, even though we don't see each other every day.
And do you think that was something that you spotted in those UCD days? Because you seem to, you know, be pretty determined. Maybe straight after or soon after, you're going to London, you're Lambda, you're doing, you know, you're kind of basically chasing it. But was it in UCD that it all fell into place, or did it take time to feel this is not just like something I love to do, it's what I'm going to do as a living or as a life?
No, I think it was more, I was spending so much time down in Dramsac.
Right.
And I was spending more time down there than I was.
What were you supposed to be doing?
In my lectures. I was supposed to be doing French and history of art.
I think we'll all forgive you for missing French.
Right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Cheers. But actually, history of art was great, because that's all stories too. So that kind of made sense. But then I think like the Drama Society in UCD is so brilliant because it's run by the students. They do 2 plays a week.
Wow.
So you just get to keep throwing yourself in, and the kind of the sort of safe space to fail.
Right.
I actually think that's what really made me feel like, oh, this is maybe where I belong, because there was no pressure. There was nobody watching you. Someone would say, oh, I'll direct this play and you can be in it. And then there were a couple of brilliant writers like Neil Sharpson. He was there at the same time. He's written an amazing kids book. He was, you know, practicing like his writing there. It was a real opportunity, you know, without people looking at you or the industry with their eye on you. And then I applied to drama school and didn't get in. And then I thought, oh God, now I really want to do it. And I kind of didn't get in.
Right.
And I thought, actually, I mean, we didn't have the Lear when I was auditioning, so that's a brilliant resource for people now, and it makes it so much easier.
You did an actors ensemble thing there later on for 6 months, was it? Yeah, so it kind of came in your life later. But I wondered, how did you break it to your parents that you wanted to go into the acting profession? Was that tough?
No,
I suppose you're already into French and art and all that. So it wasn't a big leap.
Like, yeah, and I wonder if they were surprised actually. I mean, I think they were glad that there was a bit of a safety net.
Right.
You know, that I'd done a degree and sort of, like, I don't think I could have trained straight after school. I was way too immature, didn't really know what I wanted to do. So it actually really gave me that opportunity to just have space and time, and like I have 2 kids now and I hope they go and do that, like take a gap year, just figure out what they want to do themselves, and whatever that is, if you can facilitate that and support that. I mean, sure, if you've the best chance of happiness pursuing what you want to do, wouldn't that be wonderful?
Well, what's kind of intriguing is that it seemed pretty early on too that you realise not only do you like to be part of a production and, you know, the writing and the acting and all that, but that desire to teach kind of kicked in early too, or maybe it didn't, but it seemed to me from reading, you know, just a bit of your history that it almost came hand in hand with your love of this, that you wanted to teach as well as actually do.
It's a really kind of natural, like they speak to each other. Because you're in rooms with directors, and actually that's kind of, well, the really good ones, it doesn't look like they're teaching, but they're shaping and they have their vision. And then, I don't know, it was as surprising to me when I stepped into the room. I was like, oh, this is really exciting to meet somebody who's been carrying something where they go, you know, I went the other path, I'm a solicitor or I'm a mental health nurse, and I don't necessarily want to be an actor, but I've always wanted to scratch this itch. I don't know, it's really special, like when you meet those people and they share that part of themselves that they never get to do.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's really amazing.
What's kind of very special too is the idea that, you know, be a bit like, you know, Paul McCartney decides to give bass lessons while he's in the Beatles. The idea that you are actually, you know, working, and you've got productions, you've got a film now out at the moment, they're just streaming with Edward Burns, the Fearsome Foursome and all that. Yeah. Normally when somebody's busy with their actual career, the idea of teaching is just something they put off until they feel, you know, I've got a bit of time on my hands. But you seem to sort of make time.
I agree with you. It's something that I never thought I'd do, where you just kind of go, okay, well, if I'm not acting, I'll teach. Whereas actually they inform each other. Like when I go into a room and the energy that those people give off, that feeds you actually, and it really focuses what you want to say, and that's really our role, I guess, as actors. You know, it's to take the story and what the writer wants to say and look after that with your character.
It sounds like you're going to start singing now. You're going to go into a song. It sounds that's
I can't sing.
Be a good cue in a musical just to start.
Imagine at a dance number if I just had all of it.
So, calling it the Circle Studio, even the idea of creating an actual, you know, kind of name, and this is the umbrella of what we're going to do, and we can, you know, work with kids, and we can work with adults. Was that just a very flick of the switch kind of thought, or did that take a while to think? Can I do this? Will this be something I'm proud of? How did the Circle Studio kind of become a reality?
Such a good question. I think it was quite reactive in terms of like putting something together. It's suddenly like, I don't know, the older I get and the sort of, you realize how valuable your time is, and you kind of stop going, oh, I can't really do that, or why me? What right do I have to do it? But sure, if you don't do it, you're going to have to wait for someone else to do it, and maybe they will or they won't. And sure, look, you can try, and people will tell you very quickly if it's for them, or you know, you're putting something out there that people are responding to. And I think also with AI, like that's a very threatening thing to people in our industry and what we do, and I think there's going to be a real reaction to that, and I think people are going to really want spaces like this. I certainly do, and you know, and my peers and other actors and writers and directors that I work with, that's certainly where we're at. And I think if you open that space and give access to that, everybody deserves that.
I did mention already that the fact that it's not just adults, obviously, and I know the 2 workshops you did now down in Trafalgar and Presbyterian Hall, you have teenagers and adults, but you're also looking at kids. Like you have a thing called the Playground, which is going to give kids a chance to write a play, and then adults will actually perform it. So that would be quite the leap for them to see it, you know, professionally done. This must be kind of, you know, I don't know if it's been already got a reaction, or it just must be a fun thing to think, let's try this, let's see what happens, that's what the kids come up with. Or have you started, or is it something that you're hoping?
We're just putting it all together now, but I just can't get out of my head like the idea that a kid is a playwright. You know, that you can give them access to that title, or you know, just that they can put that together at such a young age and plant that seed. And you know, writers are so important, and we need to foster that and look after those people and give them spaces, even if they're very little.
But what if everything they write has dragons in it? Like, that might be an issue, even if it's a family drama.
Like, I'd love to see
And a dinosaur, a dragon and a dinosaur.
Niamh Cusack or Richard Cooper play a dragon, wouldn't you?
I think she played one in the Addams Family Reunion, pretty much. So yeah, she was close
probably.
enough.
Yeah,
But
it'd be amazing.
so then you've got both Bray and Greystones. You've got like your outlets. It's kind of, as I said before, it seems to me that it's the idea of a community as opposed to I'm going to make you a star. It's the idea of the joy you get from the creative process. But then that sort of bonding that happens. It's like being in a band. You just suddenly, you know, you're inseparable for that period of time. I don't know if this is something already that you've recognized in people, that there is that sort of sense when they you know, finally take a step and walk in the door and they kind of get that moment to work with other people, that suddenly it feels like a safe space. It feels like a second home.
Oh, I hope so. Like, that'd be amazing. And if you can take that pressure off, going, there's no pressure to be anything or to have a result. You're just going in and having an experience. And it's always the people who go, no, that's not for me, or that'd really terrify me, or I wouldn't be any good at that. They're always the best ones. They're always the ones in the room that just, I know, change the temperature in the room. It's just, it's brilliant.
And there's a healthy kind of, I know that like the Greystones players here in the town, and there's a Making Waves, the youth theatre. There is a kind of a healthy life for that, because Greystones has always had various different dramatic groups and even opera, but there always seems to be, like, I wouldn't say it's a need, but certainly it's a great sort of like desire in people to sort of have that outlet that they can, you know, express themselves as somebody else. And that joy of the Dalgany crowd too have been amazing. Have you got hopes that would be the outcome, that you'll end up with plays in the area, that you'd sort of end up in kind of getting productions together? I don't know if that's Circle Studios sort of game plan.
Such a good point. Like, I don't see us doing productions necessarily, but I think if people felt like, you know, this was a good sort of platform or a good environment for them to step into and go, oh, I really like this, and now maybe that's possible. I think that would be amazing. You know, and the same with the kids thing, like the kids program, it's just so particular to giving them this experience that they couldn't have otherwise, or that it isn't available to them. Like, I'm very interested in putting things together that haven't been put together. We have another project that we're trying to get a bunch of 6-year-olds together with residents in a care home and pairing them together to see what they come up with and what that relationship and what that dynamic is like.
That'll be dinosaurs and dragons in World War II.
It would, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
It'd be great. It's a great story, of course, but
Yeah, and I think what those two people in that pair could give each other, you know, what that could reveal for the other person just by putting those two ages and people together. I think something kind of incredible could happen. I'm really fascinated by that. Or people that think theatre isn't for them, or that think, you know, oh, I'm outside of this, I don't belong. That's really where I'm interested in going. And even with, you know, just to your point of going, you know, an actor who is working or doing things, imagine if there was, you know, the film that I'm writing at the moment, if you gave someone their first job, like what if that was part of your mission? That you always had someone who it's actually their first step into it, whether it's crew or acting, and you're actually bringing those people in and giving them their first job, and you're starting the culture of that, rather than it being this exclusive thing. What if it's the opposite? Why don't you bring them in? Like, I've learned more things in a rehearsal room on the job from people who are more experienced than me, and their generosity and their time that has done so much for me. And I feel like it's my responsibility to pay that forward down to other people who either are younger than me or who feel like I don't have access to that, or that's not for me. It's absolutely for everybody if they have that and they want to experience that.
You're quite a busy woman. I mentioned the fact that Fierce and Foursome is just out this week. You've also got Birdie you're working on, which is a feature.
Yeah.
Then you've got the playground for the working with the kids. Also, I think you're working with something like Kira Fleming, a friend of yours, is it?
Yeah, that's the project where we're going to do this
kids with the...
in the residence home.
Fantastic.
Exactly.
Right.
So we're just waiting now. We've done all our application and everything, and you have to do the necessary bit where you wait for the funding. But you know what, the reaction from the people who facilitate these things in the care home, they seem to think that whatever happens with the funding, that they're going to try and make it happen.
Right.
So,
right.
I mean, when you have people who are really, you know, want these things to happen, I think they kind of do. And, you know, it doesn't have to be anything huge. You know, if we had 3 or 6 pairs of people, that'll have an impact, and it'll have an impact on the environment for both sides.
Sure.
So yeah, that's with Kira. She's a director that I work with, and she works in the Lear as well. And we're just very aligned on a lot of things that we're interested in.
Now, I should say, with all the actors and various different people you meet, do insist upon 10% of all future earnings, because you know that will give them incentive, you know, to work harder. And
100%, probably 12.5 now. What do you reckon?
That's the one agents do.